Hi, this is Emily Anderson with FranNet, and I'm going to spend a few minutes today unpacking some franchising myths. Now, if you're like most people, one of the first things we think of when we hear the word franchise is fast food. We might envision the Golden Arches or the $5 footlong. And this is myth number one. Some people really think that franchising is all fast food and retail, when in reality, there are more than 3,600 different franchise brands in over 90 different industries. Fast food is only one of those 90 industries. Another common misperception is that franchises succeed because of the quality of the product. Well, can you make a hamburger better than McDonald's? My guess is that you can. So here's the thing, if it's not the quality, then what is it? What makes these businesses so successful? It's all about the business system. So franchises have already identified a marketing strategy. There's an accounting and operational system. There's sales strategy. Plus, the franchisor provides training and support so that you can take this system and execute it in your local market. Another common myth is that successful franchises emerge in new industries where there's no competitors. That's actually not the case. So competition is good. Competition shows us that there is demand for the product or service. What a franchise does is it creates consolidation. So oftentimes a franchise is not going to go into a brand new industry. They are going to go into an industry where they already see there is demand, but they provide a more efficient way of serving that demand, and they create a business that is available for you, right? It's all about the system. So when McDonald's came on the scene, there were plenty of places to grab a burger. McDonald's just had a better system. Another common misperception is that franchises are expensive. And the word expensive is a very subjective term. So I'm going to give you some actual numbers here. And as you look at this graph, we'll say that about 2/3 of all these franchises fall under a total investment of $250,000 and under. Now, this does not mean you need $250,000 sitting in your checking account, but how much do you need? Well, most franchisors are looking for a new franchisee who can access about 25 to 30% of the total investment with a cash injection. Most of my clients have this ability and they finance the rest through perhaps an SBA loan. Now, where do you find this liquidity? You might be able to have it in your personal savings. You might have a family or a friend, a relative that is available or going into some type of partnership with you. It might be a portfolio loan, a home equity line of credit. In the case of a resale, the seller might provide some financing. And what surprises a lot of people is that about half of my clients access the cash injection by using a portion of their retirement. Now, we're not talking about cashing out your retirement or 401k. This has actually been in effect since the 1970s, where you can use a portion of your retirement toward the acquisition of a business without paying any taxes or any penalties. Again, this is not cashing out. This is diversification. Another common myth is that high return requires a high investment. Well, that's absolutely not true. Money in does not equal money out. There is no correlation between the two. If anything, lower cost, service-based businesses with less overhead, those are some of the businesses, frankly, with the highest margins. And lastly, a very common myth is that industry experience is required. Now, when I ask myself if I were to start a business from scratch, or if I were thinking about buying an existing business, I would naturally be drawn toward businesses where I had firsthand experience in the industry. Except that doesn't apply to franchising. Why is that? A franchisor is looking for someone with great communication skills, management, leadership, sales or operational experience. What a franchisor wants is someone who is going to take their experience and use that in executing the franchise system. Another reason why it can actually work against someone to move forward in a franchise in an industry where they actually have firsthand experience. One is if we take the practices from our past experience of an industry and we execute them into a franchise system, they may not really blend well with the franchise system. And number two, when we move forward with a franchise where we have industry experience, we are vulnerable to thinking and acting like an employee instead of thinking and acting like a business owner. So, again, this is about managerial, leadership, operational, or sales experience that you can draw on in the execution of a franchise business system. Again, this is Emily Anderson with FranNet. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope to see you again soon.